afternoon. Before we begin, okay, before I introduce our special guest speaker, is there anybody that would like to share something or anything that you guys would like to talk about?
Anyone?
Okay, Mr. Paul, our very own newscaster.
You know me, I'm a sucker for your pretty face, and
I
there's
got it.
something about your smile that always makes me want to make a comment.
Okay.
Well,
Go
my
ahead.
comment is a double-edged sword here. First of all, I'd just like to say that for those of you who missed the one-day seminar last week, you really missed a great presentation by our own Edna Chapman,
Wow, thank you.
and you did a great job, as professional as I've ever seen. And the material was great, the timing was great, everything. So I'm really happy that I was able to be right up front and see that. So thank you, Edna. And
Thank you,
please, some
Paul.
of you who are a little bit more shy, don't be shy. Edna's not a professional, but she did a great job. And please jump in and volunteer. The other side of the coin is that I just always want to talk about some little articles that I read about. I read the other day in my news channel about this lady who got a graduate's degree in computer science from MIT, I believe it was. It was a very prestigious school, and she found it very difficult to find a job. So she moved to California near Silicon Valley, where she heard, that a lot of people right out of college, especially good colleges like MIT, would get a job very easily. And she couldn't find a job. They're not
Wow.
hiring a lot of the times now because of AI, not AIT, AI. She says she's competing against other people who have less credentials than she does, but AI is making up the difference. So what Mr. Park said years ago is that, people are going to find that even professionals, doctors, engineers, computer science majors are going to find it more and more difficult to get jobs. And this is just an example. And I just thought I'd share that. It's not going to get any easier. And that's why people are going to eventually turn around and go for businesses like ours on marketing, online networking. So, we're in the right place at the right time. I know it doesn't seem that way all the time, but, please don't give up. And even though you don't have a high education, never mind, give it a try and don't give up on Atomy. And I just wanted to bring those to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, aja. That's so true, guys.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, I just had a nephew that graduated from college, and it's kind of hard for him to get a job too because of his career. But I guess the only people that can get job easily are the in the working those that are working in the medical field. But still, sometimes it's hard, because they're not hiring. All right. So anybody else? Thank you, Paul. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
one more.
okay.
Go ahead, Tina.
Yes, I like to say something. Can you hear that?
Can you hear? Can you hear
Yes,
me?
very good.
It's echo, huh?
Yes, it's okay. You can tell. Yeah.
Oh. Yesterday is the 4th of July, so many people off from the work. But Atomy is our own business. We can choose we want to work or we want to stop working. But Kay chose to working in the office. So I follow my leader. I came to the office and I also went to delivery Atomy products. And when I come to sit in here, it remind me I have to do Atomy business. That's why I forced myself to come to stay in the office here. So I have to do Atomy business every day. And I start to call people that to join the business like that.
Thank you, Tina. Yes, very good, Tina. That's the way it goes with Atomy. The harder you work, the more money you make. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Anybody else? One more, and before I introduce our guest speaker. Otherwise, let me introduce our main guest speaker. Okay, this person is a retired physical therapist. Is
hold on.
when it comes to business, is very knowledgeable and experienced. So he's the right one to ask question if you guys have any questions or issues regarding our business. Okay, everybody, let's welcome our very own Mr. Gary Amick.
Yeah.
Sales master.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
You want me to sit there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Thank you for coming out. And I think the low online attendance is because they heard who's speaking, but I'm not taking it personal.
That's not the reason. We love you.
Well, this is going to be an
They're
adventure.
missing a lot if they're not attending today.
This will be an adventure because for the first time, I'm going to attempt to bring a couple slides up. And so bear with me on this. I learned in high school that I have to be at least 10% smarter than the equipment I'm working with. And I've always had that problem. So where's my photo here? I don't see my picture anymore.
That's you. That's here.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So
You
you,
wanted to go for number one?
no, not yet. I'm just saying,
Good
usually
show.
I thought there would be a picture.
No.
Oh, that's me up there.
Yeah.
I can't see myself.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
proved to be half face.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to get started real quickly on, a lot of people may not know a little bit about my past. So I want to share that with you and as quickly as I can. But my purpose and from as a 75-year-old, I had walked my way through high school, which is literally what happened because I didn't know how to study, let alone study. Looked the part, took my books home. Parents asked if I did my homework, and of course I said yes and lied to them. But I never cut school, so I had enough retention that I got my D's and C's on exams just from recall. And so I used that same study habit in college. I went to community college and flunked out. And I got a significant special invite to join the Army in July '69. I was drafted. And that was during the Tet Offensive back then. And 3 days before departing, I was walking downstairs and my knee gave out, thank you, Lord. And my orders were canceled. I had surgery and it exposed me to the profession of physical therapy. And so that planted a seed that when I finally got home, I pursued that they had a PT assistant degree, a 2-year degree at the same junior college. And so I applied for it. And with a low GPA, I mean, low GPA, they didn't want me. And through persistence, I kept going back to the director of the department and how's it look today? Oh, Mr. Amick, you're fine. You're on the waiting list. We'll let you know. And so you don't have to come every day. I says, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. So I think what happened is they didn't have enough students to fill because it was brand new profession. So I think they didn't have enough. So they were kind of forced to take me in. But with that, I was, for the first time, motivated to do something. So I really focused on that endeavor, and I went from a 2.1 GPA to a 3.8 or 9 because I had motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the same that happens to a lot of kids going through high school and college even today, that they don't have a direction or a reason or anything to go towards, so they're not challenging themselves. But at any rate, that being said, I found out about therapy and went through that program and graduated from it. And I said, well, if this is going to be, it's going to be a 4-year degree. So I squeezed a 4-year degree in 10 years because I think I probably have the lowest GPA ever accepted into a PT program because they require a 3.5. And I had a 2.4 at that time. My current work was all 3.8s or so, 3.7, 3.8.
Mm-hmm.
At any rate, I graduated in 1980, and got recruited here to Valley Hospital in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And after 3 years, I decided to go out on my own. That was always my goal, is to have my own business, my own practice. So then 1985, I started my own business. So can I see a show of hands, or anybody here that has, or that are currently in your own business or have had your own business? Can I see a show of hands? There's, I don't know, quite a few. Probably
Yeah.
a good 50%. Any rate, I congratulate all of you. You're part of the small percentile of people in the United States for sure. Let's go to slide 1. Can So what this is just a simple little graph, ESBI. E is for employee. Most of us have been or still are. We trade our time for money, trade our time for their money. And if you take an average person, say you start working at 20 years old, and you're going to work till you retire, some 60 plus years later. Where's my numbers here?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had it all. I did math on it, believe it or not. I'll come up with it again. But at any rate, the employee, then the bottom of that is the S on the left side. That's self-employed.
Mhm.
You're still working, trading your time for their money, because you're only as good as your next patient. You're only as good as your next client. You're only good as your next sale, but you're first one in, last one to leave. So you're really working hard in that process, of course, to be to have more ambition and to make more out of your life by your desire and dreams. And that's wonderful. Not very many people seek to be self-employed.
Mhm.
And it does take a lot of time, effort, energy, and oftentimes, depending on the business, a lot of money investment. In my therapy, I end up investing, probably about $250,000 in just my equipment, the gym, the
Oh.
tables, the everything was about $250,000. And so it requires at least that side of the business, but every business has its own issues. So that being said, too, I got out of the business. I retired about 6 years ago, and met my beautiful Miss Donna, and we were introduced by a friend, matchmaker. So we're going to be celebrating our 14th year in
Wow.
October.
Wow.
And that she's put up with me that long is a blessing. And there's probably been moments, without going into detail. Any rate, a few months, shortly afterwards, she comes home and kind of excited and introduced, because she's a professional singer, but also esthetician for about 30 plus years. And someone introduced her to, I believe, skincare and through Atomy. And she comes home kind of excited, and look at this. And I'm going, oh, please, not another MLM. Oh my goodness. Because I have been involved in several Atomy Amway was probably the largest business of its kind at that time. But at any rate, we're all going to be exposed, and you're going to go through this with your people, their experiences, etc. Realize that most people in this country are against multi-levels or direct selling businesses for a variety of reasons. And usually they'll kind of puke on you about Atomy or any other business. My answer to that is ask them questions. Don't try to talk them into anything. Let them talk themselves out of something. So you ask them questions. What do you mean by a pyramid? What does that mean to you? You ask them questions and try to get them to talk and open up. And it's fairly easy response. You can say, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. But you know what I found? Feel, felt, found. Wonderful way to address some negativity. And then I'll get into some of that later, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But back to this graph, the I is for investor,
Mhm.
and that means that you put money in an account and it grows over the years and compounded interest, et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully there will be quite a bit in there when we need it. But that takes money to invest. Then the business is not self-employed, but business owner. That's different. That's what we are in Atomy. We're business owners.
Mm-hmm.
We're sharing, we're getting our money from other people's time. It's the opposite of being an employee, because that's residual nature. We are getting residual income based on this business. And a lot of business owners are that way. If you franchise, so for example, that's kind of an example of it. But my point is that most people don't have a plan B. In my practice, when I was working, it was common to see and treat people that like fell off a roof or was in a car accident and can no longer perform their particular job. They did not have a plan B. Or a lot of older people that were either forced to retire or it was a decision by them to retire, and they don't have a plan B. They said that they're going to live off of Social Security and the government and whatever plans that they might have. And many people, most people, that's not going to keep them through, barely keep them through existence. So there's no plan B. There's no plan for a sudden loss of income. That's kind of the logic that Paul was talking about. You never know if we're forced to retire or get a job, or we can't get a job because of it. So mankind has always shared those things. Look what happened to the drama when automobile came out from the horse and buggy. It was a huge change for this company. Well, what did you do? Well, we got involved in the other side of it. You learned to get involved in the mechanical side and the automobile side. So we're adapting ourselves to what the deals are. In today's AI, I don't know how much adaptation we're going to have, because it's taken a lot of people, a lot of jobs from people. It's a pretty scary thought. The question I have for all of you is, have you ever heard or do you believe that knowledge is power?
Yes.
Most people would say yes to that.
No,
Knowledge is
apply,
Oh.
apply knowledge.
I disagree.
Yeah.
It's applied
Yeah.
knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn about stuff, but if you don't do anything about it, then what?
Yeah.
So it's the application. So that's really what Atomy is. It's a learning stage. This is our business. It's your business. It's important to learn fundamentals about this business so you can apply those principles for yourself. And so that's kind of the basis of what I found is PT was physical therapy was a motivation for me, because I wanted to help people. And so now I'm no longer abusing or treating patients. I find that part of that motivation is filled because Atomy is a helping business, helping people business.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, I think it's really important that we're not just looking for consumers, because that's fundamental. And that's what's different about us and anybody else. We don't care if they join or not necessarily. It's their choice and their decision. But what we're looking for is a consumer, to then a group of consumers from which we can then get a few people to work with as a partner and that are interested. So the key, as you all well know, because you're not newbies here, about the advantages of signing up for Atomy, and that's the no cost, no fees, et cetera. The second slide.
Yes.
This graph is Atomy's in the middle, and number one is the internet, or can be, it's just determined to be the internet. Number two is a distribution system. And number three is the franchising principles. So the mere fact that you register at Atomy, that's the background of what they do for us. That we don't have to, as self-employed people, develop our own website, to develop our own distribution system and our own system for managing the business. It's already set up for us.
Mm-hmm.
So jumping through those hoops is a matter of applying knowledge. So to be what we are looking for is people who are ambitious, of course. They're looking for more, they're motivated, they're teachable, they have honesty and humility. And all of us are still working on that, perhaps, because we're all bring our own issues into this business. But you have to be willing to invest time for long-term transferable residual income. And a lot of people don't even know what that residual term means. They don't know. So that's part of the education side of what this business can do. So we are in a consumer rebellion. We are looking to change the way people shop. And that's the competition that Atomy is doing. And so when you talk to people, it's so important that they are referred to the distribution system, what they have their hands on, the ownership. What's the fundamentals with the ownership? Because that's huge when you compare and contrast other direct selling businesses. And the comp plan certainly is involved in that. So Atomy itself is a way for us, it's our business to generate ourselves and to get in and out of what we want to do in our doldrums, et cetera, et cetera. And you can certainly do more good with money than you can without it. So it's all that part of it that an Atomy is exposing us to. And
Mhm.
okay, let's go to slide 3.
Mhm.
Next slide.
Yes.
Okay, so for those of you who have heard me present in the past, Kay likes to try to embarrass me, and she does a good job by asking me to speak.
Yeah.
So, and I always refer or bring a book that I recommend. And this time, the book you should all, I'm not going to show hands, that you all should know is the life scenario booklet. And I think Kay said it's like $10 for 10 books. So $10 for this, about $1 a piece. This life scenario, a lot of people don't even glance through it or look at it or don't pay attention to it. And so I want to start with this part of the book.
Yeah.
I didn't have a slide for this first one, but I apologize for that. But on the first listing in this book, page 7 of the book, it's called a bucket list. And that is what we want. And they have listed like 30 different examples of what could be on your bucket list. You want to buy a car and travel, buy an RV and travel the country. You want to play tennis 3 times a week. You want to learn piano. You want to become a piano master in 10 years. You want to go on a 5-day vacation with your family. Those are things that are on your bucket list. And you know what a bucket list is, at least I assume you do. But my point is that's really important because those are reasons that you have kind of filed away that when this business does become successful, you have a vehicle for which you can do it. But this screen is set up here by the monthly life wheel, and it's an example. And there's 8 different categories that they put on here. Now you can put your own, you can change, but the car, travel, donation, etc., the house, family. And so you write down on this in those boxes that I will, in the house or family, I will send a box of Hemohim and $300 a month to my parents from this date. It's dated. The car may be, I want to drive a white Hyundai, a brand new 2026 Hyundai or something to that effect. So you write those things down. The donation could be, I want to donate $200 a month to UNICEF from this date. So you put that down as a monthly wheel of life with dates to it. And that's really important to try to do. And you can modify all this stuff too. Next slide, please. Okay, the next one is called monthly business goal and plans. This is monthly business goals and plans. This is really significant. If you look, no, that's not the one. It's one before that. No. It's the next. It's slide 4 on mine, maybe slide 5 on yours. That's
There's a
4. That's
That's the last one.
yeah.
Oh,
Keep going up,
yeah, that's
keep going up.
up.
Okay, then it's not in here.
Oh,
Okay, the sample of monthly goals and business plan, that's not on there, just a sample. So at any rate, what that is on page 17 of the booklet. The goals, you can list your own, make 3,000 a month, earn 5 million PV per month, recruit 30 new consumers per month, that type of thing, achieve two on each side. Those are the goals. And below it's the plan to achieve that. Could include calling 10 people a day about Atomy, introducing products at gatherings, downloading business videos. There's all kinds of things here. That's the plan. Bring 5 new partners to Success Academy. Novel one there. Sharing effective business strategy with new partners each week. So it gives guidelines on how to achieve those goals. And it's a really, really very effective system if it's followed. I think the next one is this one. Yeah. This is called the monthly 8 steps to success assessment. So this is our business. This is your business. How do you evaluate specifically on your success or areas you need to work more on or whatever. Now, your sponsors and your leaders may have specific ways to advise you, and I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm also saying this is ways that you can look at the company's recommendations as a self-assessment. That to me is a fundamental issue of this presentation today, and certainly of our ability to proceed forward in Atomy. Some people it's your decision. Some people are casual. They want to be casual. They don't want to work their butts off. They want to just go through, and that's certainly your choice. Again, it's your business. So this is assessment for a self-help type of thing. And this, you may have heard of these 8 steps. There's goal setting, resolutions, making a list, contact, business descriptions, follow-up management, consultation, replication or duplication. And then you put those around, and then there's 5, if you look in the center of those circles, there's 5 areas that you can click to give value to that. And those areas, the first one would be unsatisfied. 2 would be excuse me. Very unsatisfied is 1. Number 2 is unsatisfied. 3 is okay. 4 is satisfied, and 5 is very satisfied. So you kind of draw that little graph around the middle and on the numbers, and there's a value there. You can actually weigh and grade yourself. This particular example totals 21 as a score. And then below that is really important. It says to build your business based on self-assessments of the 8 steps. 0 to 10, you are just starting out, watching training videos, 8 steps to success. If you're 10 to 20, your business may be moving slowly. Try to boost up in passion and effort. If you're 20 to 30, can you mute back there, please? If you're 20 to 30, are you busy running ahead? Pay attention to your surroundings. You're so busy, you're not looking around. But it's a way to value a score for your efforts. And lastly is the monthly 8 core checklist. Nope, it looks like this.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. And this is the last one. Again, this is monthly, which means this is set up daily. So reading the categories left to right, it says reading, watching videos, attend meetings, use the products, show the plan, talk to consumers, sponsor consultations, and building trust. And you evaluate your day's performance. It's easy. It says if you read, then it's a 0. If you didn't read, if you didn't watch any videos, it's a 0. You see those scores going across there. So it's a way to track every day of the month what you're doing. Are you working your business? And if so, how aggressive and where do you need to work? What areas do you need to work on? And to me, this is, because it is our business, it's good for self-evaluation, because again, you might be embarrassed to talk to your support or your leadership. You might be, and whatever emotions come through, it's a way for you to evaluate where you need to spend and what you need to do. Because by spending more time on these areas, it has to have a positive effect on your business growth. Has to. So the whole point to this is we have the tools available to us, and it's so important for those tools to be used and recognized, and use them.
Mhm.
So I left my page 4. I'm fired.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a yellow page. Well, there you go. I give myself a bad grade because I left my closing remarks. So,
But you are so good, so you
oh
can do
my
it
gulai.
in your heart.
So, any rate, in closing on this, I want to just make it important to let people know that there is a way and a place to direct, because you may not know how to help and support other people in your business, but you know where to send them for support.
Mhm.
That's the most important part of this, because again, it's their business.
Mhm.
And with that respect, I want to challenge everybody, because this is your business.
Mhm.
I want to challenge you to take a look at this, and if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. I want you to have fun, make money, and make a difference. And it's available to all of us by following these basic plans. And again, thanks for putting up with my technical paralysis. I,
You did it very well.
yeah.
Mr.
My-
Gary.
I told you my high school was 10% smarter than the equipment I'm working with. And I've carried that burden through my whole life. So I appreciate your help and time and sitting here with me, and you can go.
Mr. Gary, wow,
So,
thank you for showing us the
thank you.
importance of
See, many
life
people.
scenario.
Yeah.
Yes, I myself am guilty for not following up on that. But yes, it's very important that we have our life scenario. If you guys want to be really successful in this business, follow the Atomy system, and one of that is the life scenario. Thank you, Mr. Gary, for that awesome presentation. Anybody would like to have any question ask or ask Mr. Gary something? Please raise your hand. Anybody? Come on.
Yes.
This is your chance.
No, I didn't ask, but I want to say
Okay, go ahead.